Welcome back, I'm the Watch King. On today's video, we're going to be talking about Rolex bezels. These are different types of bezels you'll come across. Some of them gray market, some of them factory, and we're going to go over them. So without further ado, let's hop straight into
it. We are going to go over every single type of, the main bezels for the Oyster case, meaning anything Oyster, date just, date, etc. There's one bezel on this table that is aftermarket. I'm not going to say if it's in the watch. I'm not going to say if it's a loose bezel. I want you to guess. Don't cheat. I will reveal it at the end after we go through everything. So let's begin. This is a very amazing reference, 6605 from 1958. Somebody painted it like this jet blue, kind of like this deep blue. It doesn't really come off on camera as it does in person. But somebody went over the original dial, which is something that is very frowned upon. And of course, I wish it was original. But at the same time, it is what it is, and it's you can't reverse it. I like the look. I think if it's already done, and you're getting it, it's not like you're doing it and destroying the history. I think it's pretty interesting, almost like a Stella dial. But going to the bezel, this one is the fluted. This one is the older fluted bezel, which you very rarely see. You only see it pre-1960 because when the 1600 range came out, they changed the fluted bezel. So this one is very nice. A lot rarer than the 1600 range, and it's around the same price point with a beautiful butterfly rotor. So this is what I always tell people if they're feeling like a 1601, this is the watch. I always say just consider it. Now jumping into two generations later, this is 16013. Very rare to come on this Jubilee, oval Jubilee bracelet, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about fluted bezel. This is the more modern version, I should say, the fluted. As you can see, the gashes in between are a lot further apart. Still has that beautiful shine, and this is what most people think of when they think of the fluted bezel there. Now, continuing on, this is the older one, right here, 1957. You see how the fluted is like that. This might be the only example that I know about that might not be solid gold, just because this particular watch is plated. It is a rare example of a 6567, which these references came in solid gold, right, and bimetal, but this particular one is capped. So I assume that they cap everything. It's a very, very thick capping. There are some micro scratches and stuff on the back where people have put spring bars and stuff like that. None of the gold has ever, the stainless has not come through with anything. So it's a very thick cap. Rolex, unlike any other brand of its time, they had these very thick caps of gold with their watches. So continuing on here, we have the second type of bezel. These are no longer in production. You will not find these on Rolexes anymore, but this is a 1603. Now, 1603 is the engine turn bezel. That's the only difference. 1601 is the fluted bezel, stainless steel fluted white gold, and the 1600 is the smooth. This is a 1603. They're all great watches. There's no quick set, but they have these beautiful pipan dials that no other reference has. And of course, you're getting a 36 date just, so very good watch. Now, we're going to go into the bezels now. The bezels, I just have a few different variants. This particular one is the white gold. This is for the 1601 because I didn't showcase that. This is the later bezel. As you can see, it still has that incredible shine with it. Very, very nice here. It's like a grayish tone. That's why they call it gray gold. You can tell from the back. This one is way more rare because this comes on a date just from the 6605 era, but in rose gold. So it's either bimetal, it has to be bimetal with rose gold or full rose gold, which Rolex on production levels are made very, very few. So this is an original bezel from that era. Very, very cool. The last one is just another showcase of a modern bezel. This is probably something from the 80s, 90s, fluted bezel here for a ladies watch, a ladies bimetal two-tone watch there. You'll notice on the back of these, they never have a stamp. So you either have to scratch it and test it, and then you don't even know. But with certain bezels, I should say, you have to know where it comes from, and all of these, I know where they come from. And then this is the last one, another example of a 1603 fluted bezel. But wait, if you look closely, the color's a little off here. And yeah, no, this is not original. It's lighter. The colors are not as nice. You could just tell it doesn't have the shine like this one has, right? It just doesn't. Now this one looks duller, doesn't look as sharp, but it has that shine that this does not have, that you play against with the light. So that is, if you guessed this bezel, you would be right. This is the aftermarket bezel. One other quick one before I let you go. This particular bezel is a very expensive bezel. These are added to day dates. Solid gold date just, this typically wouldn't be added to, just because it's so much money to add something like this to your watch, right? So you take a regular fluted bezel, and then these are very high quality diamonds, high SI with nice color. Look how they shine. Now, if you buy a bezel like this, for instance, it's not factory, because factory, I believe at the time period, they didn't even make them this big too. This is meant to be on like a 18038, something like that, from that era. And you could add this and keep the original bezel. It won't, it will not determine value factor, because you can always put the original on and keep this. So this is a great way to aftermarket your watch without, drilling holes, as people say, and actually making it aftermarket. So just another fun one. The Rolex did factory bezels too, just not exactly like this one. So I want to thank you all for watching. If you're curious about any of these watches, they are all currently, the 1601 will be shortly in the store also. So they are all in the store. Go check it out at thewatchkingofficial.com. You will see the link in the description. I want to thank you all. If you like this content, please subscribe and stay tuned for more. Thank you, and I will catch you in the next one. Have a great day.